Today I want to talk about 4 rules for intermittent fasting. I love intermittent fasting, and it can be a great way to manage your weight and to also keep your insulin level optimal, which is one of the keys to optimal health. So rule number 1 is when to eat. Basically, with intermittent fasting, you're going to have an eating window and you're going to have a fasting window. And that can vary from person to person and what works for you. I like to generally end my eating window by 7 o'clock p.m. at night, and I usually like to not start eating again until maybe around 10 a.m. in the morning. So when I'm fasting, and when I'm eating, I'm eating. Right? So that's a long time to let my body repair and for my insulin levels get really nice and low. So you have 2 windows. You're eating during one window and you're not eating during the other window. Easy peasy, right? The second rule is what to eat. And just because you're intermittent fasting doesn't mean you can eat all the calories and all the junk food. Weight loss will not happen if that is the case. You still need to be eating less calories. You've got less time to do it, so it's usually a little bit easier, but you don't want to fill that eating window with lots of empty calories. So still think things like lean protein, healthy fats, a little bit lower on the carbohydrate side. Although I do think you can be a little less strict with your diet when you're not eating as frequently or as many hours of the day, but you still want to be reasonable here. The third thing is when to exercise. You don't need to eat before you exercise. I exercise fasted almost every single day. Your body will learn to tap into your fat stores for fuel, and you can absolutely exercise fasted. And that can be a great way to help improve insulin resistance as well. So I like to exercise in my fasting window before I eat. And then the last thing is what breaks a fast, right? So I like to think of anything that feels like sugar, can break a fast. So that would be like Diet Coke, right? There are no calories in Diet Coke, but it tastes like sugar. Your brain thinks it's sugar. It can actually spike your insulin. A piece of chewing gum, even though it's only maybe 5 calories, that can still break your fast. A cough drop or a mint, that can break your fast. Coffee with NutraSweet or a sweetener of some sort can break your fast. So when I'm fasting, the only things I like to take in are water and black coffee, or hot tea with no sweeteners in there would also be okay. So if it tastes like sugar to you, your brain is going to also think it's sugar and your insulin is going to spike. Intermittent fasting is a great way to lose weight. It's a great way to reverse insulin resistance, which is so common these days. And insulin resistance is one of the 4 root causes of all disease. So having optimal insulin levels and having an optimal hemoglobin A1C, which I believe is 5.3 or less, is key to optimal health. And one way you can get there is by lowering your carb intake to equal that of your activity level, but also by intermittent fasting.